Hey guys, what is going on? So today I'm going to be sharing my fantasy football teams for this season. I'm in 3 leagues this year and I'm going to be saving my favorite team for last. I don't know if you guys will think it's the best team. So the first team I'm going to be sharing is my team in the Giants Content Creator League. We did this draft live on YouTube and it was just super fun to, be in a draft live with all these other Giants content creators. So somehow I ended up with the #1 overall pick. And I just drafted Saquon Barkley instead of Christian McCaffrey. I don't know, I feel like Saquon's going to have a really big year. So I was like, why not draft Saquon? I'm going to be able to watch him play every week. So let's go ahead and draft Saquon. So that's what I did with my #1 pick. Then with the 16th overall pick, I drafted Austin Eckler. Obviously on the Chargers, is now their first string running back. And I've had him on a few of my fantasy football teams in the past. He can catch passes out of the backfield. With the 17th overall pick in my 3rd pick, I selected Travis Kelce. I had Travis Kelce last year on fantasy. Obviously, he had a pretty good game Thursday night, so I was really happy with that pick. With the 32nd overall pick, which was my 4th pick, I drafted Juju Smith-Schuster. So Juju, he didn't have a great year last year, but I think he's going to have a good year this year. He's a player who I really like. So yeah, when he was available, I was like, I gotta go with Juju. Just like as a person, I also really like him. I think he's such a great guy. So yeah, and also shout out to his dog Bougie. So in the 5th round, with the 33rd overall pick, I drafted Kyler Murray, and this was kind of like a brain freeze moment. So I was like, oh, I really want Kyler Murray on my team this year. I had him on my team last year, and I think he's gonna have a really good year. So I just went into the search bar and typed in Kyler Murray. I didn't realize Lamar Jackson was still available. So when I made that pick, everyone in the live stream chat was like, oh my god, I can't believe she did that. It was just a brain freeze. Like, honestly, it was. I had a draft before this draft, and I was doing homework all day before that. I was super tired, so yeah, that's what happened. But listen, I have faith in Kyler. I think Kyler's going to have a really big year, so I'm not really too upset over that. Then in the 6th round, with the 48th overall pick, I drafted Cam Akers. I don't think I'm going to start him this week, but I just feel like he's someone who could have a breakout year this year. Obviously, he's a rookie, and Sean McVay, that offense, I'm always willing to take a player in the Rams offense. Then with the 49th overall pick in the 7th round, I drafted Keenan Allen. He's another guy I've had on a bunch of my fantasy teams. He gets his catches, he gets a lot of receptions. I think I'm going to put him in the flex spot this week. Then with the 64th overall pick in the 8th round, I selected Leonard Fournette. So I'm hoping Tom Brady's going to lead them down the field a ton this year. And they're going to get down to the goal line and feed the ball to Fournette. I think that was a great pick for me, honestly, in the 8th round to take Fournette. So yeah, and then in the 9th round with the 65th overall pick, I took Tyler Boyd, Cincinnati wide receiver. During the draft, the other Giants content creators were like, yeah, apparently Joe Burrow and him already have a lot of chemistry, so that's great. He had a pretty good season last year too, so I like that pick. And then I went wide receiver again in the 10th round. With the 80th overall pick, I took Julian Edelman. Just a reliable guy. I feel like he's just, reliable, so I drafted him. Then with the 81st overall pick in the 11th round, I drafted Tyreek Cohen. Then in the 12th round with the 96th overall pick, I took Darius Slayton. I love Darius Slayton as a Giants fan. I think he's going to have a big year. I had him in fantasy last year. He had a few really big games, so I was happy to draft him. Then I took the Bears defense in the 13th round. In the 14th round, I took Drew Brees, just, take another quarterback. Then in the 15th round, I took Henry Ruggs, so I really like that pick. I think Ruggs can have a really nice rookie year. And then in the 16th round, I took Chris Boswell, the kicker from Pittsburgh, with my last pick. So I like that team a lot. I think that's a pretty good team, but it's not my favorite. I'd say it's my 2nd favorite. The next team we're going to go over is my least favorite, and the one I think is going to do the worst. I forgot to mention that first team was in an 8-team league. This next team is in a 12-team league, and probably that's why it's my least favorite team. I also had the 11th pick in the draft. So with my first pick and the 11th overall pick in the draft, I took Josh Jacobs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually went 1 pick before this, so pick number 10, obviously, because that's how numbers work. But I'm super happy to have Josh Jacobs on my team. I really like him. He had a great rookie season, so I'm excited to see how he plays this year. Then in the 2nd round with the 14th pick, I took Austin Eckler again. And then in the third round, with the 35th overall pick, I took Juju Smith-Schuster again. Wow, I didn't realize how many players I have on this team that I also had on the other team. In the fourth round, with the 38th overall pick, I took Kyler Murray. In the fifth round, with the 59th overall pick, I took Tyler Boyd. Literally, all these players but one so far is on my other team. Then, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Then in the sixth round, with the 62nd overall pick, I took Leonard Fournette, another player that's on my other team. Then in the seventh round, with the 83rd overall pick, I took J.K. Dobbins, rookie on the Baltimore Ravens. Then in the eighth round, with the 86th overall pick, I took Darius Slayton, another player that's on my other team. Wow, I really did draft a lot of the same players. Then in the ninth round, with the 107th overall pick, I took Noah Fant. Then in the 10th round, with the 110th pick, I took N'Keal Harry. Hopefully, he'll have a bounce back year this year. Didn't play much last year, his rookie season. Then in the 11th round, with the 131st pick, I took McCole Hardman. Then in the 12th round, with the 134th pick, I took Chase Edmonds. Then in the 13th round, with the 155th pick, I took the Bears defense. Then in the 14th round, with the 158th pick, I took Michael Pittman Jr., rookie wide receiver for the Colts. Then in the 15th round, with the 179th pick, I took Joe Burrow. I was like, why not? Let's just go crazy here. I hope he has a good year. And then in the 16th round, with the 182nd pick, I took Chris Boswell again as my kicker. So this last team is my favorite. I had the 3rd overall pick, and with the 3rd overall pick, I drafted Ezekiel Elliott. It's probably weird hearing me say that since I have so much Giants stuff in the background here. Not so much. I have 2 Giants things in the background there, but come on, you gotta draft the best player. Then in the 2nd round, with the 14th overall pick, I drafted Patrick Mahomes. So this is probably why this is my favorite team. I love watching Patrick Mahomes play. If you guys couldn't already tell, especially from my last video, I was like, oh my gosh, Patrick Mahomes is so much fun to watch play. Really, he is. So I went into this draft like, I really gotta do everything I can to get Patrick Mahomes on my team. When I was making this pick, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm reaching for a quarterback here, but I don't think I was, because in both my other leagues, Mahomes went in the 2nd round. Then in the 3rd round, with the 19th overall pick, I drafted DeAndre Hopkins. In the 4th round, with the 30th overall pick, I drafted Juju Smith-Schuster. So I have Juju on all my fantasy football teams this year. Let's go Juju. Like I said, I really like Juju, obviously. In the 5th round, with the 35th overall pick, I drafted David Johnson. And I was a little unsure about that pick, but he played really well Thursday night. Then in the 6th round, with the 46th overall pick, I drafted Jonathan Taylor, rookie running back for the Colts. Then in the 7th round, with the 51st overall pick, I drafted Cam Akers again. So I drafted rookie running backs back-to-back because I was like, I feel like one of these guys is going to have a really good year, like over 1,000 rushing yards. That's just my prediction, so I'm like, let me get both of them on my team. Maybe they'll both have over 1,000-yard seasons. I don't know, but yeah, I drafted both those guys back-to-back. Then in the 8th round, with the 62nd overall pick, I drafted Keenan Allen again. Then in the 9th round, with the 67th overall pick, I drafted Tyler Higbee, another guy in that Rams offense. I think he could have a pretty good year. In the 10th round, with the 78th overall pick, I drafted Darius Slayton, so I believe he's on all my fantasy teams as well. In the 11th round, with the 83rd overall pick, I drafted Will Fuller. In the 12th round, with the 94th overall pick, I drafted Raheem Mostert. Why do I feel like I just said his name wrong? It's like Mostert. Mostert? Am I saying it right? Okay, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Then in the 13th round, with the 99th overall pick, I drafted Noah Fant, so he's on 2 of my fantasy teams. Then in the 14th round, with the 110th pick, I drafted the Bears defense, so I think I have the Bears defense in every league. Okay. In the 15th round, with the 115th pick, I drafted J.K. Dobbins. And in the 16th round, I drafted Chris Boswell yet again as my kicker. So Boswell is my kicker in every league. That's it for this video, guys. Make sure to drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Peace out.